Welcome, everyone. Welcome to a rainy, dreary episode of The Degenerates.
The Degenerate podcast.
It's another day coming and going for us, and we are here to discuss deep, hard-hitting topics.
The hardest of topics.
The hottest of takes.
Years of research and understanding, focus groups, and
that's. I don't know about that. We're talking about trannies.
We're talking about trannies. This episode is about trannies.
Trans.
Okay, wait, no. We're not talking about trannies, right? Because not in a negative way. We're talking about.
Speak for yourself.
Children. We're talking about children who transition. We're going back to last week's topic about. We're kind of like finishing off with a more specific understanding, and we're also. What was the last topic?
Rich mans? Or is it haters?
Yeah, bandwagon hate.
Bandwagon hate is something we want to talk about. I think it's I mean, for me, it depends on the time of day. Like, for me, like, I get really mad about it, then I forget. I don't know about Dante. I feel like it's just something you see often enough that you're just like,
No, from what I see, it's kind of like, it's just a way of life now.
No, that is not a way of life.
No, what I mean
Going to church is a way of life.
It's just a common saying. It's
okay.
Kind of like...
You could say it's a facet of society.
But before we get into that, we should talk about
the troon boom. No,
kids who have been transitioning at a very young age.
See, like, I don't like it particularly, and I don't think it's good. I mean, fuck, man. You can't pretend like you knew what the hell you're talking about as a kid. And, a lot of parents should know that, like, it's one thing to care for your kids, and there's another thing to, like, you gotta put your foot down and be like, no, this isn't gonna fly. Like, are you gonna let your whole kid eat a whole pack of Starburst and be like, that's okay? And not brush his teeth?
If it's just the sticks.
No, not the sticks. We're talking like a whole large plastic.
Whole bag?
Yeah, a whole bag. That's not gonna fly. In this house, I just grab a Starburst and just, like, throw them out a window.
I can't even do that. I don't know. I'm the kind of person that, if you have too much, it might give you a headache. But how I see the whole thing is, and I'm looking at two specific cases. Everyone knows about the whole, like, D-Wade thing. And
I am an ally of the LGBT community.
And obviously, way before that, there was Charlie's Theron. I don't know. Both two strong African background people.
I'd say Charlize actually grew up in Africa.
Yeah, she's African. She's more African than D-Wade.
Dude, she's more African than Shakira singing Waka Waka.
Now, the reason why I brought this up was I remember when I first saw the whole, Charlize thing with her daughter who was, born male, transitioned to a female.
As you do.
As the way of life. I remember I saw a lot of criticism, people saying that, she kind of prompted it. A lot of people saying that the kid never really had much, a lot of, like, male influence. It's really daughter. It's really, the son, daughter, had her sister had, the mother and the grandma. There was never really any, like...
Where's Charlize's father? Where's Charlize's father? There's no grandpa?
No, I don't know. Didn't talk about it.
The man got killed or something? Or did he just, like, divorced and didn't come back?
He might have died. I haven't looked into the grandpa. I'm just going off the interview of what I saw.
Yeah.
Obviously, I had to look at an interview, see her perspective. She said that, he just seemed to grow an interest to that stuff, and she didn't, encourage it.
I don't know. I mean, like, what's the difference between a gay man or a trans man liking women? What's the difference? All right, my bad. That's a bad example. A trans female liking a man.
Well, no one knows what he likes. I mean, I'll say this. I remember I've seen incidents where there are guys who transition to female and are, they identify as lesbian, like they like women.
Wow. Why would you go through all that effort?
I think I think the idea,
Are you stop for a second?
um,
Okay, yeah. Sorry for the pause there. I thought the mic wasn't working for a bit.
yeah, but when it comes to that, like at least from how I see it, and from what I've seen, people do like to make sure that people understand that um, sexuality doesn't like you know
This this
doesn't
this is the thing I'm not touching.
gender and sexuality.
I think my
But
opinion.
I will say there are instances where definitely there are people who are um, transsexual who still you know would still identify as like liking this, I guess now same sex or opposite sex, as in like a girl can transition into a male and still like males, a female can.
It just seems so counterproductive.
Well,
Like I
I
could
mean,
say, I could say I like being a man, but I still like putting on dresses. That's not.
yeah,
I'm
but
not saying.
like
I'm not saying that I like doing that. I'm just saying this is a thing you could do.
no, but I mean you could look at it this way, right? There are you know guys who identify as being gay or girls who identify as being female, but they don't you wouldn't they don't look like a transgender. They're still like
Yeah.
the most guy that you would think of, right?
Well, what would be the most guy you could think of?
I don't know, like loves football, backyard barbecue, mechanic.
Sex with the boys.
Real
That
bro moment.
bro, massaging bro's asshole.
Yeah, but I'm gonna say there have been instances like Jerry Springer's, right? There have been instances where there are guys
Why
who
Jerry
are
Springer?
transsexual who who still prefer females. Like they'll like females, right? And apparently, from what they said, that's pretty common. That's probably like 1/3, right? So maybe they like women so much that they want to,
Be a woman.
yeah,
Maybe they think lesbian sex is hotter or something.
yeah.
I think these mans just watch these lesbian porn. It's like, yo, that's what I want to do now.
But yeah,
I want to scissor her, and then you realize that's not what they actually do.
yeah. But that's the thing, right? Like if again, they're nine. One's 9, another one's 7. I I don't think people are really thinking about what their actual sexuality is.
I mean, yeah, I think a bigger problem for me is like, are they going through the body altering stuff? It's one thing to put on a dress and say it's a girl, but it's another thing to pump them through like puberty blockers and hormone like adjusters.
Well, I don't know.
I don't
I
think
can like you could probably look into
like
that.
do you like for me like even putting on piercings at a young child is probably a bad idea. Like when girls get their ears pierced at a young age, I'm like looking at it like aghast, right? Like that's permanent damage to your earlobe, right? Sure, your earlobe is just a fold of skin, but like that's a part of you just permanently altered, and it's just going to change how it's going to develop now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, some. I don't know. I don't want to say too much about piercing because some cultures have their own thing with that.
I guess, but like any
Right.
permanent body modification at such a young age when you're not finished is bad, right? It's like the same people who like drink early. It's like the same. It's in the same vein of drinking early or like taking like substances early. You shouldn't do it. I don't think it's a good idea. You're not finished yet.
Yeah. I know people
Like
who pierce like
doctors
their
won't give.
babies'
Yeah.
ears because like they're like I'll get it to them while they're young so they don't have to feel the pain later.
What do you mean they're feeling it now?
Yeah, but they don't remember
Like, just because they don't remember. I mean, I guess if I drug a girl and rape her, I guess you don't remember it.
it.
No, I mean that's the kind of logic they're employing.
Yeah, but I guess this idea is like they're a baby. Let's do it now, and then not when they're like old. They don't have to worry about it, right? Like it's already been done.
Worry about it. Like, who's worrying about getting a piercing? You just do it.
I mean, some people are hurt. Some people are scared of it.
I mean,
Right.
I mean,
Like I would have more worry if someone like piercing a child's like cartilage than here, because cartilage you can actually like fuck it up badly.
yeah, that's what I'm worried about, right?
Yeah, but here it's not super
Like
bad.
reconstruction and surgery for a child would be like prohibitively more troublesome and expensive.
And like even when it comes to like nose rings, I know it's a lot of cultures, look for that, or even belly rings.
See, that depends. And like, see, like I don't know, it's weird. Like if I see if I see some bitch doing it here, I'm like disgusting. If it's some lady, it's part of her culture. I'm like perfectly fine.
Yeah.
It's weird when it becomes a culture thing. I have no problems, but if you're just doing it as is, I'm just like,
Yeah, but that's how some things go. Like for example, cornrows. that's like you can look at that as a very cultural saying, but a lot of people adapt that, and
Of culture for who specifically, though?
cornrows.
Yeah.
Well, generally, that whole braiding of the hair and the cornrows is seen as a very like African hairstyle.
Is it an African hairstyle or a cultural thing?
Well,
Or is it just a way to maintain your hair?
it's kind of like a traditional like African like hairstyle,
I
cornrows.
see. Problem is, like, I know more about North African culture, even though I'm not North African.
Well, this would be more like West African.
West African. What about South? I'm joking.
No, but like generally, people with like my kind of hair, cornrows is just kind of a saying, or dreadlocks too. Like I know a lot of people saying dreadlocks in Jamaica, but dreadlocks started in Africa and moved to Jamaica.
I was gonna say, like, who's gonna say? What, I was gonna say, like, yeah, it's like saying Buddhism started in China. It didn't start in China.
Yeah,
It came out of there. It spread through there, and they came out elsewhere. But it's not like it came from there.
Yeah, but like again, like when you think about like when you think of dreadlocks, you probably think of Jamaica first.
I suppose, but I think they
You
just
see-
popularized it.
Well, it's not that they popularized it; they literally took African people and brought
Yeah, I know, but like they became but they made it part of themselves, especially. I mean, maybe people in Africa
It
just
didn't. It's not. Well, it comes a lot from like Rastafarians.
Rastafari. I don't understand Rastafarians, to be honest.
It's a religion.
Is it?
Yeah,
Like, it's a religion, but like I don't know what their tenets are. What do they do? Where's their churches? I've never seen a single.
They have churches. Yeah.
I've never seen a single Rastafarian building in my life.
Well, you're not gonna find it here.
Is it only Jamaica?
I don't know where you're gonna find a Rastafarian church, but they exist.
Like,
There's Rastafarian priests.
is it just a picture of like fucking?
No. Don't say Bob Marley.
I was gonna say, there's just a picture of Bob Marley at the front.
No. Okay, being Rastafarian is associated with dreadlocks, even though you're not supposed to call them dreadlocks.
Okay,
Something else.
But getting back onto the topic of transsexuals, I don't know, man. It's a complicated issue, and like if you try to say anything, not that that's not construed as positive, it's an immediate like volatile reaction by people, and I'm like, bro, just because you're a certain group or you're a certain thing does not give you immunity. I feel, right, and as soon as you hit like as soon as you're done growing as a person, go ahead, become a transsexual. I don't care.
Well, that's the thing too, right? It's I think more what it is that like their kid is 7, 9 years old, and they come up to you and they're like, "Dad, I want to be a girl. Dad, I want to be a boy." Right? A lot of these parents are like, they don't want to stop that. They're like, if that's what you want to do, go ahead.
There's a point of going too gung ho with it.
So if your son went up to you, 8 years old, and they're like, "Dad, I want to be a girl."
I just say, "What do you want? A toy?" I just say, "You want a Barbie doll? I'll buy you a Barbie doll." That's it. Like, I'm not gonna placate them 100% because, like, if you placate your kids on everything, how are they gonna learn to like what standards are, right?
Yeah.
How are they gonna learn that they can't get everything they want in life? They got to be disappointed. The first time someone, the first person that should let a person down in their life is their parents, in my opinion.
So if your son was like, "I want to wear a dress to school,"
I'd say.
You sure about that?
I no, I would not let him do that. I said you can wear dresses where you want, wherever you want in our house, but no, outside, no. Outside, no way in hell. And he's like, "Okay, let's go buy a dress." I'd be like, "Yeah, sure." And I just never do it. See, I wouldn't like as much as I joke about being direct, I just be very like so underhanded about it. Like, I know this sounds bad, but like it's don't tell me your parents have never told you, "Yeah, sure, sport," and didn't get around to it. They've done it. It happens.
My parents?
No, just parents in general, right?
Okay.
It's just one of those things where like, yeah, I'll do that. They don't do it. Right. And you and
not
it,
Jamaican parents.
I don't know.
Straight up tell you no.
It depends on what it is. So, Dad, can I be gay? Nigga, no.
What, you crazy?
You crazy? I'm sorry. I just uppercut my son. I just sucker punch him.
Nah, my parents told me like if someone was like, because in Jamaica they call it batiman. They would like kill you.
No, okay, depends. Like, I'd say no for a lot of things. Like, if you want a candy bar in a store, I'd say no to you. I'd say no. Like, if you want a candy bar in a store, and like you've gone over your daily sugar limit, I'm like, no, you already had juice. You want juice? I'll give you juice. You want sugar? No. No. No.
But yeah, like going on that, right? It's kind of like that. Their kids want to do something.
Your son walks in, "Dad, can I wear a dress?" Nah.
Nah,
not be.
right? And I know a lot of people like their kids are like, their kids are like young kids, and they have like maybe they have female cousins, and they see what they're doing. You're like, oh, they're playing with dolls. Let me play with them, right? Just to play with them, right? Sometimes the dad might walk in and be like, yo, son, what are you doing? Go outside. Leave them alone. You're not supposed to be playing with dolls. And some parents might just leave them, let them be.
I mean, depends on the day, right?
Right.
Like if my son's
Like if you saw your son just playing with their cousins and they're all
that's
playing with dolls.
like okay, like if they're playing with dolls, like
No, but they're just playing with their cousins. Like it's just in the moment.
yeah, that's fine. Like if they're actively going about it, right?
Yeah.
Like I prefer if
Like-
I prefer if my son was getting along with people rather than shit stirring.
Yeah.
If he broke someone's doll, I'd probably smash the dollhouse. As the great Kevin Hart would say, I'd smash a dollhouse over that kid's head.
But I've heard of
My son wants to be gay.
I've heard of parents literally beating the kids as soon as they see that shit. Like
I beat him for okay, I did depending on what it is. I beat him for various things, but not that. There's more serious issues.
yeah.
Uh,
But
how- I'd stay fit so I could just beat up my son into adulthood.
I don't know.
I just
so-
do like a Dempsey roll and be.
So when it comes to young children's, who want to identify as being male or female, being the opposite sex, how do you feel about it?
It makes me very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And I don't care if you call me a fucking bigot. I'll just play my race card and be like, it's not part of my culture.
Yeah. For me,
Like I just can't wrap my head around it. I don't see it happening. And if it did, I mean like there's paranoid thinking about it, but then there's like I don't see it happening because it's like, why would they?
well, for me,
Like this is not a common thing. It's not.
yeah, it's not a common thing. Well, for me, how I see it is that if your kid's really that young, there's nothing. I don't think there's anything wrong with telling them. Maybe you should wait till you're a little bit older until you feel that way. Like if they're 13, 14, I probably have less reserves. But if they're like 7, 8 years old, I'd definitely be like,
Okay, if you're like
you're maybe a little bit too young.
if
'cause,
you're
like,
if you're
that's a decision that's gonna
Yeah.
mess with you for the rest of your life.
no, first of all, it's not even like the dad. It's just like who I'd be like. I'd probably hit him like, who are you to decide?
You decide.
Who are you to decide? Like, what's the kid gonna say? Well, he's just gonna be flabbergasted.
It's 2032.
What do you mean 2032? I don't give a shit.
But yeah, no. Just how I see it. Like, look, if your kid's that old and that's what they want to do, obviously, I think you have to realize they're very young. They're still developing. They haven't even hit puberty yet.
What's your opinion about gender dysphoria? Do you believe it's a mental illness, or do you believe it's
I'm in
a disorder?
psychology, and I tell people in my psychology book, it's classified as a mental illness.
In the newest one, it's not. It's been
No, I'm talking about a 2019 edition.
Yeah.
It says mental illness.
So you believe it is?
That's how I was taught. It's like I'm trying to make it clear.
I'm saying like in
When
some
peop-
places they've changed the classification for it.
No, but okay,
Do you consider it a disorder or an illness?
it's okay.
This is-
maybe saying black and white, right? How I've looked at it, because I know there's that meme that being transgender is a mental illness, right? I'm telling you right now, in a publication of a university textbooks being printed now, still being used, it still will classify being having gender dysphoria as a mental illness. There's nothing in the book that normalizes it, saying that this is not a mental illness.
So do you consider a lot of transsexual cases of gender dysphoria?
It is gender dysphoria.
Yeah, it is. But people, I don't know. People like to switch.
It's always gender
People
dysphoria.
try to move barriers and benchmarks around to to try to skirt things. A lot of mental and verbal gymnastics they try to do with it.
Well, here's the problem. The reason why people don't like hearing that it's a mental illness is because it's like it doesn't sound good, right?
It's not. I mean,
Right.
what do you expect it to be? It's
It's
not.
the same way as someone saying, "Oh, you have ADHD." Well, did you know ADHD is on the autism spectrum?
It is on the. It is on the spectrum.
Therefore, you have a form of autism, right?
Technically, you are autistic.
Yeah. People don't like hearing that.
But
but it's true.
you gotta know if you gotta know the full brunt of something in order to deal with it in your life. In my opinion,
It's
I believe
it's
withholding information from people is more harm than it is good.
no, no. But wait, let me finish it. But that's what I'm saying. It's like the same way that saying someone has autism is it wrong for you to say that they have obviously a mental, they not a mental disability, but they have they're definitely it's a learning disability, right? It's a learning disability,
It is a
social disease. It's something.
social disease. Social disease sounds way more intense.
No, but that's how some people. That's how some people
I've never heard the
describe
term social disease. I'm gonna use that. That's
a
good.
social disorder.
Social disease sounds fucking intense.
Yeah, it's just the way that people have described these things,
Would you
right?
consider being an e-boy a social disease?
No.
I consider
So
it's simping.
it that whole idea is it wrong to say that it's a mental disorder? I don't think it's wrong. I think it's a fair.
You would get
disorder.
blasted by a lot of people though for that.
Yeah, but like,
I mean,
for what?
you're being transphobic because their only criticism instead of being like breaking
Well,
it down.
the transphobic means that I'm scared of trans people. I'm
Yeah,
not
which
scared of trans people. I have friends who are trans, right?
I got no man who I know is trans.
I knew one guy,
One guy.
right? I've always like look. I don't care if someone's like gay, trans, whatever. They're I'm like look. It doesn't affect me. It doesn't affect people around you.
Yeah,
I
that's
just really
true.
don't care, right? I don't look at someone as being less of a person, right? But at the same stretch of things, I'm not going to say no. Like I go.
I'm not. You're not gonna placate them.
No, like I go to university to learn, and university is, a Canadian university, as liberal as people want it to believe, will still publicate a textbook that says gender dysphoria, gender dysphoria, like whatever,
Yeah.
is a mental disorder,
Yeah.
right? So I have every right to.
See, when people use the term transphobic, they seem to misconstrue fear with hate.
No, I don't hate trans people.
And I hate when people use these buzzwords.
Like I think the problem.
People use a lot of buzzwords. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
No, but I think the reason why a lot of people don't like it being.
There's nothing.
I think the reason why a lot of people don't like it being used as like a mental disorder because it's like, oh, well, you're making me feel like a freak. Well, how do you think kids who go to special ed feel, right?
Like, are you trying to put yourself above these kids?
It's not about that, but
or even like, what's wrong? Like, we're not saying we're not saying like there's something fundamental. Okay, we're not trying to put you down for it. It's just like you have a problem.
It's clear.
If someone has a broken leg, they have a broken leg. You can't.
No. It's like exactly like it's clearly something that is mental, right? It's clearly something that.
It's something that's off, and then then they would bring up the definition of what is normal. I don't know. Normal is something that's consistent,
right? And that's to say, if you clearly biologically you are a male, biologically you're a female, and you are identifying as being female, even if you go through hormone changes, even if you go through whatever, your birth certificate, the day you're born, is still originally going to print you as baby boy, baby girl.
I thought like they stopped doing that now.
Well, maybe kids born now, but
no.
Like if you change your gender, it's still going to say Jesse, born 1990, whatever.
Yeah.
Male.
Well, don't go exposing your boy here. I could be a 50-year-old man for all they know.
1962.
Yeah.
Yeah, so when I look at that, I don't see why people have so many reserves of saying, oh, it's a mental disorder. It's a mental disorder. What?
I mean, I would say it, but well, when I see the shit, I don't see it with a positive aspect.
Right? No, right. And I guess people, and I think one thing that people might do is look at other things like being gay or lesbian, like, okay, what about them? Like, no,
that's different.
That's different. That's
they just
different.
group each other together because they're marginalized peoples.
Yeah.
But they don't actually have anything common other than being oppressed.
And that's
apparently.
What I'm saying. Like, I have never once associated someone being transsexual and someone being gay or lesbian. I know they're different. They're
the fact that you're putting them together as someone who's an advocate just makes me wonder who's the one who's like more unaware
Advocate.
or of a bigot? You know those types,
Wait,
right?
advocate of what?
You know, for LGBT, right? You know,
No, no,
the defenders, right?
they do it because obviously they're kind of looked at like in the same group, right? If someone's like trans, someone's like this, someone's like
Why
that.
aren't races grouped the same way? Like, I don't get like how you people pretend like you're all part of the same club, but then treat. I don't know. For me, like the biggest gripe of my one of my biggest gripes is I think LGBT issues are insignificant compared to race issues on a larger scale.
Yeah. One thing,
and socioeconomic issues.
There's one group of people that I always thought was really weird. Um, there's like a group of people called like tranny hunters, people who only date like trannies.
Well, we call those people whack.
Like there'll be guys.
Okay, all right. Yeah. Forget the no judge stuff, but you gotta say when something's whack, something's whack.
Even in their group, they're seen as like, yo, stay away from those people.
For rape trannies.
Guys who will strictly only date.
You know, it kills me when some like transsexual people are like, "Yo, man, men are trying to rape me." I'm like, no man's trying to rape you. I see that and I want to run away.
Yeah, I knew one guy on Discord who was like really into she-males, and we're like, "Yo, what the fuck?" And the thing is, the guy was from the Bahamas, so I'm like, "Yo, you better not let anyone find that."
You better not let anyone find out. You're gonna get clapped. They're gonna clap you in the streets.
But I think that's enough of that topic.
Ugh. Does he want to fuck him or does he want to get? Ugh.
No, he was.
It's not even.
It was like Friday, and this guy was like posting the porn he was watching. Everyone was like, "What the fuck?" It was just like she-males and.
No.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, bro. I'm not trying to see that.
But he was also one of those guys who did a lot of shit for attention, so everyone kind of got like annoyed of him. Okay, next topic.
That's enough for trans today. It will be a never-ending topic, in my opinion. Yeah. So we're gonna talk about haters.
Oh, sorry, we're gonna keep that for last.
What are we gonna talk about else then?
The
rich.
Rich.
I mean, you know how I feel.
Do you believe money buys happiness?
Yes and no.
Okay.
It's not.
What's your argument that it doesn't?
It does not. It does not fix all your problems. Not your financial problems, right? I mean, anything that's not financially related, it doesn't fix those problems necessarily, right? Like, if you got like a bad relationship with your family, the money's not going to necessarily make that go away. Your girl who's unfaithful or not loyal to you, right? The money might make her come back, but she's not going to be still loyal.
I've heard of stories where someone gets rich. He doesn't even give his family that much money, but the family relationship just blows up. Like it just becomes a lot better.
I don't know. I just feel like if you had an abusive relationship with your father, that's not gonna fix it.
Oh no, obviously, right?
Like your traumas, your past, like no matter that's gonna remain. If you got molested as a kid, like that's not gonna go away, right?
Okay, yeah, obviously.
Like it's just like that's right. Dead ass though, right? And let's say you have a rocky relationship with your man, even if I don't know, like,
but
like if my son gave me fucking money, I'd still be like, you're still a bitch.
No, okay, but do you feel like when people argue that money doesn't buy happiness, you're taking it to a more like extreme form, like they could physically buy quantities of like happiness?
I think they're taking it the wrong way, or they're either reading it too little or not reading into it right way.
I think they're reading it too deeply. They're like, oh yeah, money.
I think they're reading it the wrong way. They're too. A lot of folks are too literal about shit. You know what I mean?
Like I asked you yesterday if I gave you, a certain amount of money, you'd be happy.
I'd be pleased, but there's still things about my life I'm dissatisfied about.
No, but that's the thing. You would be happy, right? I'm not saying the problem is, and that's what I'm trying to say.
The problem is like, are we talking are we like legitimate satisfaction, or like just in that moment I am pleased? Am I happy?
What I'm saying is,
would I be happy because you gave me a gift?
No, wait. Let me finish. What I'm saying is, I'm not saying all your problems are going to be fixed, but you will have happiness. You will have a form of happiness. Will you be happy in that moment?
I'd be happier.
You'd be happy. Yeah, happier. Yeah, happier. Yeah, because I'm like, this thing. No one's saying that you weren't happy beforehand. Yeah. But you'd still have a heightened level of happiness, right?
Yeah.
So why is it that people get upset, or why is it so looked down upon?
See, people always say it's the haters who are saying that, but in my opinion, I think it's the people who are trying to keep you down, actually saying, yeah, you don't want that money. People up top are saying that shit.
You don't want that money?
Yeah,
no, people up top are very open to say, yeah, money, money brings happiness to
Nah,
a
dude.
point.
For like, there's certain groups of
The
society.
only, I'll be honest, the only people I see who don't do that are people who are like, I've worked for 20 years and I have a wife and kids, house paying off. You know, if I had that money, I wouldn't be any happier. You know, stuff like that.
That's
Or
just you're in a bad situation with your family.
no, they're not in a bad situation. I saw one saying this guy was doing an Ask Me Anything, right? And he had money, and he's like, and this guy won the lottery, and one person's like, you know what? I'm glad I never won the lottery because how my life is, I am as happy as I could ever be, you know. And who says that? I would never, like it's fine.
He
Like
might be rich himself. You never know.
no, they weren't rich. They said they don't, they don't make a lot of money, but
Maybe they are happy. I don't know.
no, no. I'm not saying that they're not happy, right? But he was trying to say like he wrote two paragraphs. One was putting down the guy for winning the lottery. The other half was saying how much better their life was. And it's like it comes off as like really distasteful because like clearly
You're bothered.
yeah, like you wouldn't say that, right? Like you're kind of just I don't know why.
I don't know. It's I don't know. Is it a complicated issue? It's something that people don't take with the right levity. I feel right.
Yeah.
I
I think there's a natural like hatred for rich people.
I think it depends, right? I don't like rich people either, but like certain groups of them, right? I knew one girl, right, who tend to force her will on things and wasn't aware of how things actually worked.
Wait,
And
why don't you like rich people?
well, it depends. It's like they don't. I mean, like if there was a rich person who just mind his business and didn't do anything, you're just a regular person to me. It's the fact that a lot of rich people are lobbyists. They participate in our government to swing things in their way by artificial means, right? Or the fact is they just tend to have a disdain for us or just wish we could not have our way in some ways, right? Or the fact that they're just unaware of like a
But
lot
would
of
you say
issues.
that's all of them, most of them, or some of them?
I can't say just how you can't say all poor people are good or bad.
Yeah.
There's problems amongst poor people. Like they have like it's fair to say within the rich and poor, both are degenerate freaks in my opinion.
What I would say is this: among the people who are probably really rich and stuff like that, there are probably there's probably a really quiet group, right? Because here's the thing:
See, that's the
people
thing.
might be shocked to believe this, but most rich people probably don't want you to be rich. Like most people say, like honestly, if he saw how I dress, if he saw where I lived, he probably wouldn't think I'm rich. But I'm actually rich.
Well,
Or
see, the thing is, like,
they're
I don't know these people because that they're just living their
yeah,
life,
and
and and you know,
no, that's my example is that there is this disdain for rich people, right?
well, we're talking like the uber rich or the 1%.
No, but like here's the thing about the 1%, all right? I don't think we realize that to be in the 1%, you actually don't need to make that much money.
No,
Do you know how much money you need to make in the U.S. to
how much
be over $400,000 a year combined with your spouse, and you're in the 1%?
are you?
That's it.
That's it.
That's what I'm saying.
I think I don't know. Like even amongst the rich, there's the rich of the rich.
Yeah, there's a zero
See,
point zero 0.01%.
I think maybe it's just because of that. But like I don't know. When I think of that, like I think these people are wealthy, but they're not what you call like uber wealthy. You
Okay,
know?
like
Or like the fact that their kids are very spoiled, stunted brats. You know, it's a stereotype, but
no,
I
that's
think
the
I
thing.
think
That's
it
the,
rings true.
no, but that's the
I knew a
thing.
lot of rich, spoiled kids, and I hated their guts. I
No,
still
and
do.
that's the thing. There's no, and that's what I'm trying to say is like people assume certain things, but then also people forget that like um, there are a lot of people who are really rich, and you should see how they like treat their family. Like they don't give them, they will help them out with things if they need it, but they don't try to interfere with certain things, right? They don't give them everything they want
And
just because they want it.
that's good.
And that's actually, from what I've seen, is a lot of rich people. Most, you know, and then that's kind of the thing is that I think people kind of look at one group of rich people with a stereotype like, oh, they have all this stuff. Why don't I? I think it's a lot of.
I don't care about what they have over me. That's not the issue.
No, you don't. But there's a lot of people who do, and that's where a lot of hate comes. But
Well, that's unnecessary. My problem is like I believe that they could be taking away opportunities from people due to their lobbying or other things, right?
yeah, but again, that's not everyone, right?
It's not
Like,
everyone.
I'm gonna be honest. There are a lot of people with just old money or new money who've gotten their money through different means.
Yeah.
Who
Like,
I can guarantee you, really do not like care that much about that stuff,
and they wouldn't bother with us. That's
right?
fine. Those, I mean, why would I hate them? They're not interfering, right?
No, but that's the thing. You're when a lot of
Oh, what the fuck?
to be honest, when people talk about the rich people who might be lobbying, that might be like maybe like only like 10%. So why group nine other 90%?
I mean, to be very specific. I mean, are you really gonna be that specific in that case, right?
No, but I'm saying like you're saying like you're saying that you hate, you know,
Okay, I
people.
shouldn't say I don't hate the rich in general. It's just me saying like I hate certain
You don't like rich people who use their money to uh, basically buy politicians.
my politicians or just to interfere with people, average people's lives.
But I could tell you, guarantee you, that's not like majority of rich people.
I don't know. Like I guess we have different definitions. I don't look at. I'm not looking at that definition which you presented, right?
What definition?
The like over 400K.
No. I'm just saying when people refer to the 1%, I don't see people realize how much money the actual 1% is.
Yeah.
Because when you look at what the 1% is, and you think about the population of the world, how much the average person makes in like Uganda or Brazil,
Hey, you
and
those
then
lands
you
are living it up.
and then you hype that up to like you're like, okay, then where would the other percentage be, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you have to look at like first world countries, Canada, North America as a whole, maybe not Mexico.
Yeah, I suppose. I don't know. For me, like,
Right? And then you were like, okay, what's the average income? You know, average income for a lot of places is like 50, 60K, right?
yeah,
So someone making 400K is definitely a lot of money. But
I
that's
would.
all you need to be in the 1%.
I would love 400K a year.
Yeah. But no, and that's combined income.
Yeah. Like, don't
And
get me
that's what you
don't
need
get
to
me
be the
wrong. I
1%.
would love to be. I would love to be wealthy, right?
Yeah, and that's
I
what I'm
would
saying.
love to be.
That's the 1%.
Okay. Okay. I see what you're saying, but like, I mean, you also see what I'm saying as well, right?
Yeah, and then on your point with the uber rich people, right? I think there's a big, big
Like,
stereotype that people have with, people who are super rich have an inherited evil to them.
no, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying there's a
Not
certain.
saying you, but I'm saying there is that kind of stereotype.
I mean, like, I'll say one thing. Like, I'm not a pro-communist guy. You know how much I shit on communists, but these ideas evolved for a reason.
Yeah.
They evolved because of like certain artificial, like not artificial, certain problems, right?
Yeah.
Like, they didn't just appear in a vacuum, right? You know, these happen because of legitimate traumas or troubles inflicted by people of a higher echelon in society.
Yeah.
Right. And like, God, like I have friends who are poor, wealthy. I mean, God, you're my friends. Like, you're a friend too, right? I would consider you. I don't know what are you, Dante?
What do you mean?
What class are you?
Hmm?
I don't know. Whatever. But other way, like I would
I'm
invite you.
comfortable.
I would invite you to my house for tea.
Yeah.
I would sit you down. I would offer you my bed, even though my bed's probably not nice compared to your bed.
I just have a normal bed.
My bed's it's antibacterial, so because I have allergies. So it's
Mine's just like a normal memory foam.
Loki. My bed might be more expensive than yours, when I think about it.
Is it?
Because I have like severe allergy. I used to have severe allergy problems growing up.
How much is your bed?
It's a special bed.
Mine's memory foam.
I don't know, but I would invite you to my home and I would sit you down. I'd have you dinner. I'd have you breakfast, dinner, lunch. Breakfast, dinner, lunch.
Yeah.
No, it's breakfast, dinner, lunch, dinner. Retarded. Tea and everything, because friends are family.
Yeah.
Family are friends, as it should be.
Yeah.
But of course, would I hand you a nice tidy sum of money? Hell no.
No.
No, of course not, right? Like, I'd back you up. Like, I'd do business deals with you. I'd do plans with you. But I would not essentially give you anything, right?
Yeah.
Hell, I would start a trust fund with friends, for like between our families, this money we work to either put towards a trust fund that we could put towards various things. Like, I would cooperate with people on various things, but there's like, I still believe in having your own personal thing, right?
When it comes to money,
So I guess you could say I don't hate rich people, but I just hate certain groups of people and certain, like, I mean, I don't.
Again, I'm not really talking about you, but there are people who are like, oh, this guy makes this much money.
I mean,
this guy.
there's an eat the rich mentality amongst a lot of people, and
no, and that's what I was trying
but
to.
you see, the funny thing is like but when I say I also don't like rich people, sometimes I also like a lot of rich. I just like a lot of rich youth who pretend like they're poor.
Yeah.
They're sitting there with their Dolce Gabbana and their Gucci, And then they're saying, "Oh, I can't."
Dolce Gabbana.
Dolce Gabbana. I'm sorry. It fits actually the fact that I'm flubbing it. Loki fits better. Um, they're sitting there with their nice shit, and they're saying, "Eat the rich." I can't afford even ramen, and they got like car keys in their hands for like something like a Lexus or like a fucking Mercedes. Like how you
Mercedes.
Mercedes?
Mercedes.
Nah, Mercedes. And you're gonna say to me, you want a policy that's gonna help us. Like these are the people who want communism, not the people who are at the bottom.
I don't think people realize how badly rich people actually get taxed.
No, well, it depends on the country.
Well, yeah, it depends on the country, right? But like,
Like
when people look at like, have you seen how fucked Canada and America? Like, I know people say you got to tax the rich more.
No, it's you got to tax the uber rich, not the regular like upper class.
No, and that's where I said
Like
the problem.
you support business owners. Like if a guy's a business owner, you back him up. He gives people jobs.
No. That's what I was trying to say is that I don't think people realize the reason why the rich get richer is because once they made enough money, they can just make enough money off their money. Like I was telling you,
yeah, snowballing. Well, see, the thing is, that's my problem. I want to make enough money so I can make money off my money.
Right. Well, that's the thing. People who are like doctors. A doctor that makes. Do you know how much money a doctor makes that makes $700,000 a year makes?
How much?
They're only going to take home maybe $350,000.
On
paper, they make $700,000.
See, the problem is people are always so concerned with big salaries and big wages, and they think they can live their life off a salary, right? But it's not to become wealthy. It's not your salary.
You need to save a lot of it.
It's not even savings or salaries. It's what you put that money towards in the long term.
Yeah, like for me, there's one YouTuber that I watch.
If you owned do
you know Stephen Graham?
You could show him to me later, and I could give him a watch.
He's someone who's like, he believes strongly into living under your means, right? And he's like, he believes in saving like 99% of your money. Like he makes over $1 million a year, he saves most of it.
Realistically, if I wanted to survive in a year, and this is me being like liberal, maybe or being conservative, I can't tell. I'd say 6,000 is enough for me in a year.
No, that wouldn't be enough.
Wouldn't it?
Tuition.
No. Just for like basic living expenses, not like tuition.
Food, transportation.
That's it.
Entertainment.
I got stuff at home.
It could be.
That's just enough for me, right? Like just food and transportation and just other small amenities here or there, right? I think I could make do with that much reasonably, or maybe even like an extra 1,000, right?
Yeah.
I think that's more. That's how much I would need. Some people would say, "Oh, that's way too much," or some people would say that's way too little. I cannot say.
Well, if you live by yourself, that'd be way too little.
Well, I mean, that's how much I'm putting towards myself, and I'm making much more? I don't know.
Well, I mean, if you're living by yourself, then you would have to include rent and internet, cable, or whatever expenses you have.
Yeah, it would conflate.
It wouldn't. Nah, you wouldn't last like 3 months. Because you have to understand, maybe because you live in Brampton, it's a little bit cheaper. But if you lived in Toronto, no, you couldn't.
I like how you hit me with it because you live in Brampton.
No, because if you lived by yourself in Toronto.
Well, Toronto's a whole different life.
Yeah, you're already paying like 14,000.
You're paying out of the ass for nothing, for studio apartments, right? I don't know, Well, actually, I think this stems from a lot of factors.
Especially if you have a car and an insurance, then you're done.
Oh no,
you're done.
Well, see, this is as I'm now currently standing. This is how much I need.
Yeah.
And if I could maintain a similar lifestyle, let's say, if I had a job even here and it was a nice, proper paying job, my expenses would not really go up.
Yeah, and even when we went to Japan trip, how much did you spend alone?
Too much, but that's because I just I don't know.
The plane ticket.
But that's different though. That's a vacation's a different thing.
Yeah.
You don't need to vacate.
You don't need to.
You don't need to, but you choose to.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying, and yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I don't know.
What I'm saying. Well, what I'm saying is look at it this way. The whole point of what I was saying when the rich get richer is that when you make enough money and you invest it right, that money will grow and grow and grow.
Well,
but if you just make a large salary, because there are a lot of people who make crazy amount of money, but barely save any of it, and then they have to start selling. They have
We,
to do
we,
other
we
stuff,
call we call those people impoverished patricians.
right?
They have all the vehicles and all the means to live a fruitful life, right?
Because technically,
But they just don't know how to budget, and their lifestyle is too exorbitant.
because one thing I will say is like you will make more money in Canada because our taxes are not as harsh in America. People might not believe that because in Canada, once you make 100K, every dollar you make after that is cut into half. So as soon
Hmm.
as you make a dollar, you're making 50 cents.
Honestly, 100K a year would be enough for me.
Well, the 100K gets taxed. So if you were making 100K a year, then you would come home after paying tax, maybe around 80. You know, you come around home around 83K. You'd be paying about a car, like a new Honda Civic,
I
every year.
That's more than enough for me.
Then you would be looking at your rent, which I don't know. If you were making 100K, you'd probably live in a decent place. Maybe,
I mean, the problem is like for me is like my family like they don't. My family doesn't care, right?
yeah.
As long as you're making money and bringing it in and putting it towards a proper place.
No. But let me finish my
Sorry.
expenses, right?
See, problem is like I don't. Problem is like I guess this is
Wait, let me finish.
this is very alien perspective for me because like
No.
I come from an immigrant family, right?
Yeah.
We don't toss our kids out just like that.
No, I know that, right? But what I was saying is, I'm giving it in perspective of someone who's making 100K living on their own.
Yeah.
You'd come home, you'd take home around 83,000. Then realistically, you would want to save minimum like 30% of that, 30 to 40% of that, right?
Aim for 35.
I would say around 40. 40 would be good.
40 would 40 be possible?
40 would be possible.
Maybe require some intent. It would require some budgeting.
Well, with 40% of 83,000 taking home after taxes,
yeah,
that's still
that's
you'd still be left with like over like what 50K.
Yeah, it's a nice sum.
Yeah, so you come home with 50K. Your rent would probably come up to maybe 1,800 to 1,400 depending on how well you want to live. You don't want to live in a bummy place, but you want to live somewhere decent. So you'd be paying roughly like you'd be paying roughly maybe like 20K a year in rent, and then you'd be paying what another if you have a car payments maybe like 200, 600. So maybe like 2K in insurance a year. I don't know how much your car is gonna be.
It's variable.
Yeah, so realistically, you would give yourself 50K to spend in a year, and the rest would be in savings.
You don't understand how. I don't think you understand how much of a cheapskate I am. Like I will do like.
Actually, you would only probably have like, in terms of like, how much you would have to actually spend after bills and stuff. You'd probably only have like 20K.
20K. Is that savings or included or not savings?
Savings taken out, taxes taken out.
20K just for yourself.
Well,
that's a lot.
Yeah. Well, that's because you're making 100K.
I guess.
Most people aren't making 100K.
That's true.
Most people are making 50, 60.
50K.
Right? If you're making 50K, your taxes is going to be you're going to lose 3K from taxes. Right? You lose 3K from taxes.
I'm trying
then
to
your rent is not going to really go up. You're still going to be paying $1,400 for rent. So
I guess
you'd probably have like maybe 5K to spend for yourself.
Some way that's more than enough for me.
Yeah.
I don't know. So this is a complicated issue.
Depending on how much you put away to save.
I mean, I don't know. It all varies. Like I know what I would do per se, and you know what you would do. We already know we already have like a vague idea, but like this doesn't apply to everyone, I guess.
Yeah. Well, what I'm saying is generally people who make like crazy amount of money, you'd be surprised how many people make like 200, 300K and live like just the normal, typical, like normal same apartment you live in, same thing you live in.
I wouldn't be surprised, but it begs the question.
And that's what I'm saying is that people kind of have this idea of millionaires who are really flashy, who drive their Mercedes, drive this, drive that. And there are a lot of people who are just like, you know what, I'm just going to focus on saving for retirement or save up to retire early, stuff like that. Or save up to put the down payment on my mortgage. Because, like, again, if you want to buy a house, you're going to have to put down a minimum of at least 100K in Toronto. Right?
I'm not living in Toronto.
Even if you live in Brampton, you're still gonna need like at least $75,000.
I don't know. For me, like, oh, sorry, my bad.
No.
I guess so. What is? I guess in the end, does money buy happiness?
money. I think.
In a way, it does. In other
I think
ways,
in a general term, if if it means that it can get you the things that make you happy, then yeah. But I don't think it applies to everyone. I think it's a much more complicated topic than that.
it's. I mean, you could see how different our answers are, and what kind of like variables we're throwing out.
Yeah. Well, you said that money. You don't think it does.
I don't think it necessarily does, depending on the situation, right?
Yeah. What situation would it?
I mean, like I said, like if you're a person with like a lot of like goals and traumas, or like
Goals
if
and
money
trauma.
like if money wasn't your primary concern to begin with, it wasn't necessarily going to make you happy.
Yeah.
It'll help. No, of course, I won't say it won't. I'm stupid to say that money isn't useful. That it isn't
Yeah. No.
a
Like.
good thing for to have, right?
Yeah. My main point was that is that
But
it's
there's
not that
some
it.
people who are like enslaved by like the pursuit or just money, money, money.
Yeah.
And even if they had more, it doesn't necessarily fulfill them.
Yeah. No. That's what I was trying to say is that I'm not saying that it gives you like a fulfillment. Like you're gonna get money, you're gonna be happy all the time. But my whole idea was that money can buy the things that make you happy. For even if it's for that moment, it that is still technically it buying you
It's a
happiness.
flash.
Yeah.
So I guess on to our final bit before we wrap it up soon.
Yeah.
Let's make this one a little bit brief, and I just do it next time. Talk about wrap it up next time. Just do a brief caveat on haters.
Okay.
So haters, rise up,
Yo, bandwagon hate.
dude. Bandwagon
Should
hate.
wait, should we narrow this to like just like
Make it to one for
the
now, but then
anime or gaming community?
we can just do one topic for now, and then elaborate on others the other time.
There are certain things out there.
So this is a lecture, people. This is a university lecture. Your prof's leaving it in half.
There are certain things out there that people just have a natural like hatred to, right? There are people that will not know anything about a certain thing, but they kind of just go with what everyone else says, right? Which is fair, you know. Obviously, you know, if everyone's saying this is garbage and it's probably
Consensus
garbage,
is probably right.
but there's a lot of cases where it gets so big that there's just a mob of people who've never seen it and will be like, "No, this is garbage."
I feel like a personal example for me is the Star Wars prequels.
Yeah.
I like them. I will admit they have problems, and maybe they're not the best in some ways. But I do think overall, as a product, I think they are a good, entertaining product. And I think Episode 3 is one of my favorite movies of all time.
Yeah.
Which is a big statement, but it's also one of the funniest movies of all time.
What
I don't need to remind you of any of the memes.
is there any anime that you think that gets a lot of hate that you actually like?
It's a good question. I can't think of anything right now. I'm gonna get back on you on that one. Actually, Ava.
Ava?
Ava gets a lot of like love and hate on both sides. Ava's probably my favorite. I mean, call me a mainstream fag, but like I like Ava. It really affected me. It really did. Like it did really hit home for me, right? Like when I look at you and everyone's like, "Oh, I fucking hate Shinji." I'm like, I'm that little bitch. That little bitch is me. I don't want to be like Shinji, but at the
No,
same time, it hits home.
The thing with that is that Shinji gets a lot of hate, but I think people kind of forget the kid. He's supposed to be fucking 14.
He's 14 with
He's 14 with his dad like forcing him.
when he's dead, his neglectful father forcing him. His father that wasn't even there, right? Like I don't know how many people pretend like they have a good relationship with their family, their life's been going well, that they have no problems and they could be a man.
Yeah, like think about
Like
it.
most you guys are fucking would be like pissing or shitting
No, yeah,
yourself.
that's exactly like if you were 14 and someone was like get into the fucking robot.
No, you would be like, oh yeah, I'd be fucking good at the
You're gonna
robot.
fucking die.
I'd be fucking good at the robot. I'd fucking good do it.
You're gonna fucking die, and then you're gonna
Fucking
be like, oh,
assholes. These people don't know shit.
shit. Yeah, I think that's one thing too. People forget to like take away from the character. Realize, oh
This
shit,
this kid, he's
what
a
was I doing at 14?
like, what? No, not even the fact that you're 14. What kind of person you are now? Do you think even in your current mindset, you think even at that, if you put your mindset and throw you at that body, that frail 14-year-old version of yourself, and you think you're going to be able to handle all those raging hormones and confusion?
No, but that's
And,
the
like,
thing, they're
And like, let's
you
be
know,
honest, I
they
don't.
separate themselves.
Most people who said that, I don't think they come from good homes either. I think they just spurg out if someone told them to go on a robot. They just rage out there, and Shinji's dad just be like, "All right, shoot this nigga." Like I don't like these people are fucking insane. I don't get them.
One thing I think, actually, I just had it.
But I don't know. Like I like. I mean, I like a lot of popular stuff. Like Ava's the only show that elevate to a high level.
Not Evangelion. Code Geass. I tell people.
I hate season 2.
No, look.
But I do. I
watched
like
the first episode, and I tell people, look, I don't like mech anime, so there's no reason for me to watch it. And everyone's like, no, just watch it. You're gonna love it.
Look, dude. I tell you to watch Code Geass, but if you say you don't like mech, I'm not gonna force you. It's the if someone says as soon as someone says I don't like mecha, the conversation is dead.
Yeah.
Like I don't bother. Like one of my favorite animes was actually another mecha show growing up. One was called Eureka 7.
No, I like Eureka 7.
Yeah, Eureka 7.
Yeah.
I love that show.
Yeah.
Probably a little bit too much, but like I love the show thoroughly, right? As soon as my boy says I don't like mecha, like it's his loss in my opinion.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna hold it against him.
Yeah.
I know this one guy. He's like, yo, I don't like mecha still, but this fucking retard still went out of his way to watch it just to spite me and just to like annoy me and like shit talk it, and I'm like, I think you're retarded.
No, that's the thing.
That's a special kind of like hate bandwagon.
No. One thing I've seen is that I say I don't like mecha, and then people are like, "Wait, don't you like Guilty Crown?" And I'm like, "Yo, there's like
Guilty Crown.
There's like a collection of like 13 minutes of like actual mecha. Like,
dude,
if you watch Guilty Crown and you think that's a mecha anime, then you don't.
Dude,
know
I look at Guilty Crown. I look at any of the art. There's no fucking robot on any of the art. You go look at a Gundam series, you don't see the main character. You see the robot.
The only people who drive the mechas is that one blonde guy who somehow made it into Darling in the Franxx. I don't know how.
Okay, shut up.
No, that same blonde guy is in Darling in the Franxx.
I know what you're talking about, and no.
It's the same guy.
Same voice actor?
No, he wears the same suit, like same color suit, same blonde hair. He's just a little shorter than Darling in the Franxx, but they're the same character design. You know who I'm talking about.
I know. Yes, fine, okay.
He somehow made it into... They rehired the guy. He got into a new job.
Hey, you want to see another mecha series that's going to start off as lip but just fall apart?
Has fucking cameo.
Oh my god. Okay.
And then the wheelchair girl. Those are the only two people who care about mechas.
Okay.
If you watch Guilty Crown and you think that's a mecha anime, that is...
Not a mecha. It's not a mecha.
They only threw mecha in there because it's futuristic.
Just because it looks cool.
But like, shoot. Literally grabs people's hearts, their souls, and turns them into weapons. And you're going to consider... You're not going to say that's the anime? What part of that has anything to do with mecha?
Are you kidding me? That's the key for the mechas.
The last 3 episodes, did you see a single mech?
No.
No! The man went blind!
Okay, look. I didn't watch Guilty Crown. I watched the bits and pieces of it. And I could say...
Like I'm telling you right now, there's a collection. If you watch all 25 episodes, and you watch you cut every scene with a mech in it, it only equates to maybe like 13 minutes.
That's nothing.
Because it had nothing to do with the show. Like there's a whole sub-arc where the whole city gets shut down, and they just have to stay in school and survive. No one's driving anything!
Look, man... Look, gosh. Yeah, people love to slap around genre labels, but they don't know how to fucking use them. Like, Code Geass, like, it's a mecha series, but even then, I don't consider it a mecha. You know why? Because it's too like... The mechas are not the focus. The mechas are just a vehicle for combat and just for scenes. They're not the main focus, right?
But I don't like that.
I mean, that's whatever, man. Like, Gundam's a mecha series. Everything revolves around the fucking robots.
Yeah, no.
Code Geass, Britannia,
What's
Rebellion.
That one thing, like Adolf Zero?
Alden on a Zero?
Yeah, my friends watched that.
We came for the score.
And I was like, nah, I don't like mecha. He's like, nah, it's not a mecha anime.
It is a mecha. What do you mean?
He says the mecha is a very small part of it.
No, there's a 5-minute transformation scene with one of the fucking niggas.
No.
What do you mean it's not a mecha series?
No, and it's the same with Code Geass. People like, Code Geass doesn't have a lot of mecha in it, but I feel
like
there's enough. I feel like there's enough mecha in Code Geass.
It's not a true mecha show, but it is technically it is a mecha show in this fact that there's just a lot of robots fighting. Yeah. But like, you forget the scene where Fuzaku's like just this bullshit, some karate windmill shit.
No, it's just the only thing.
In the robot, outside the robot too.
No, but that's the thing. Like you said, that's the vehicle combat for it, right? That's what my point is. When people say, "How do you like Guilty Crown but not Code Geass?"
That's not the same.
The combat has nothing to do. the combat is literally people who get like tapped like a mark on their hand that let them to do it. And there's only 3 people.
Yeah. And okay, if you want a more like recent example, Darling and the Franxx, right?
I like Garland and the Frank.
I know you do, but like for me, like I look at him like this is like not like true mecha, but it is.
Exactly.
It's a mecha.
No, it's a mecha, right?
But it's not like everything's about the mecha.
Yeah, no, another thing. If you watch Darling and the Franxx, right?
I did watch it.
A big thing with it
is about the children and their emotional.
Yeah, like the whole thing that's going on there, right? See, the mecha in that is kind of just like
there. It's just a plot device.
No. The only mecha that actually like changes really is 02 and Hero. Yeah, Hero.
Yeah.
Literally, other than that, everyone else's mecha just stays the same.
Yeah.
Right. And the mecha fights aren't even that long. They're like a minute.
They're fucking short.
Yeah, they're not long, right? So, I like Darling and Franxx. It's a mecha anime, but when I think about all the parts I like, none of them really have to do with the mech.
No, it doesn't.
I like the one transformation when at the end, before everything gets fucked up.
Look, man, I'll be honest, that show kind of went weird directions.
Well, they had 2 studios, right? They're like, look, we know you're gonna fuck up your budget, sugar. We got A1 for you.
But we're gonna fuck up the story instead.
A1's like, we got this. They made the second half, and people are like, wait, what happened?
Nigga, you didn't get this. You made this worse. Why is she giant in space?
Giant 02.
Oh man. Okay, let's go for like now. There's always the definitive bandwagon hate show, SAO. Now I've watched SAO. I've skipped some arcs. Excalibur is a dog shit arc.
I watched it. It's a mini arc. It's only 3 episodes.
It's 3 episodes too long.
I didn't mind it, but I don't tell people to watch it. Like when it comes to SAO2, I say look.
Just watch.
I'll say like look, SAO2. There are some hype scenes in the first part, but overall it's okay. Nothing special. And then, parts 3 I really like. Mother Rosalia.
I probably should watch Mother's Rosario. The new
It's sad. It's really sad.
I know. Let me guess. She has a disease.
She has AIDS.
She get AIDS.
It's explained in the show.
She passed it down from her mom.
And remember, there's 2 of them.
Oh yeah.
And then one. The AIDS got them.
AIDS got them. Did she get it from her mom or her dad?
Her mom. Well,
bitch,
both their parents had AIDS.
Bitch thought these.
But both their parents got AIDS, and they both died of AIDS.
How do you thought so hard that early?
No, something happened in Japan, and they ended up.
How you thought so hard and died so early?
It wasn't their fault. It wasn't their fault.
Okay, was it? Okay, I'll be honest. This is fucking. I don't know why people. I'll just say one caveat about that. It's like I believe anyone who willingly spreads diseases should be like severely punished.
I don't think they knew they had AIDS.
No, not in that case, but like it's just like how like like Typhoid Mary types,
No, it's illegal.
It's a misdemeanor in several states in America, like in California.
It's illegal here too.
It should be. I believe the people who walked around like Toronto with corona should be prosecuted, or the people from like abroad and knew they had it and came here should be like prosecuted.
That's pretty bad, yeah.
Right? Put them in jail.
But we're talking about SAO.
Yeah, I'm sorry. This is off topic. I know, but it makes me mad a lot.
I know.
These Typhoid Mary types. I hope you know. I hope you know who Typhoid Mary is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
SAO is kind of like the poster boy of mainstream dog shit.
There's way worse shows though.
There are way worse shows.
Like there's shows.
Everyone I know says like, "Holy shit, that opening for SAO is great." Like,
yeah, there are.
Really
they're lit.
Fanboy that shit.
Okay, yo.
First part of SAO was amazing.
Okay.
Second part is like garbage dog shit.
Okay.
It really wasn't that bad.
Alpha, I hated Alpha.
Yeah, but it wasn't really that bad.
I hated it, bro.
Look, the man, she wanted some cousin dick, but
Okay, yo, bro, I'll put on a mask and be her cousin. Do you see the size of her tits?
Yeah, chill.
Yeah.
But no, that's SAO definitely like the poster for anime. Like, if there's an anime that you can like, you don't need to watch to hate. That's the anime. But
I mean, the openings are all lit, man. Like you all come out dancing for them. Doesn't matter what season it is. You're going hard for it.
Even the ending for Mother Rosalia. Have you heard it?
No, I haven't heard. Don't play it right now.
Okay, I won't play it, but I'll get it right.
I'll listen to it when I get home.
No, I have to play it now.
fuck.
It's too good.
Don't play it here. Well, not when the recording's going on.
No, not right now.
Okay. Not the full, just the short.
Yeah, of course.
I know some guys are like, oh, let me pull up the full song. And I'm like, no, I don't want to hear the shitty rap solos. SAO, man. I actually kind of like SAO. But not for the reasons you might think I might.
Why do you like it?
I think it's a really high quality show in terms of like its budgeting and its production. I like things with a nice budget. You know what I mean? I like good scores. I like nice art direction. I just like money being thrown at shit. Why do you think I watch Ufotable shit?
Another show that I saw started getting hate too was like Attack on Titan.
Hero Acca started getting hate recently.
Yeah, Hero Academia started recently getting hate. People were saying that.
See, for me, it's like I forgot to watch finish season 2, and I just didn't get back to it.
Hey, no, what happened was My Hero Academia got super popular, and now everyone's like, "No, that show's boring. That show's garbage," right? And like literally, not like last year, everyone was like standing. Holy shit, the show's coming on. It still has a lot of fans. I still really like the show. A lot of people still like the show.
It's a good show.
And I have people who are like, no,
Bones is a quality studio.
I had a friend, I had friends saying, "Oh, no, I stopped watching it from the first couple episodes. That show's boring, garbage." And
I'm like, okay. Did you watch it though?
Yeah, I'm like, no, like if you watch it and then you think it's boring, then whatever. But
I can't help you.
When I think about a lot of the fights, I'm like, yeah, that's some of the like, it's had some of the most hyped fights in anime in a long time, right?
I think they're not okay. How do you explain it? Technically, in terms of like technicality, they're not that impressive in terms of actual visuals, but they're more impressive.
Visuals? No. The All Might versus Nomu fight.
That's the only fight.
No. Todoroki versus Deku, also really hype. Even when Deku was fighting Bakugo, even at that small clip,
yeah,
that was fucking hype to me. When he punched the air and the whole building just like shot up,
yeah,
you can't no other anime is doing that shit.
Right? I don't know. Sort of. I mean, Demon Slayer got pretty close.
To be fair, Demon Slayer only had like one hype fight. Their fights last like a minute.
No,
they takes out their sword and it's a wrap.
Okay, it is, but then when it isn't.
No. Demon Slayer has hype moments. Like Demon Slayer is more.
I think My Hero Academia has the same thing. Hype moments.
Okay. Here's my thing. Demon Slayer has like it is more like story driven.
It is.
It's more. It's like more story,
emotionally,
more emotional, more thing like that. So their fight points do not really carry. My Hero Academia, anytime a shonen has its tournament arc, that's when everyone's like, comes out the woodwork like, oh shit.
How is this arc not going to finish properly?
No, every shonen has to have a tournament arc. Like, name one good shonen without a tournament arc.
No, that's not my problem. My problem is like every time they have a tournament arc, they don't announce a fucking winner.
They do.
No, they did this time, but like I think of like Naruto. The tournament arc just didn't finish.
Yeah, because of what happened.
Sausage gay.
No, I mean, My Hero Academia announced it. Even Hunter x Hunter, they
fucking Hunter x Hunter, man. That's a show I don't want to start anytime soon.
What other show had a tournament arc?
Everything.
My Hero Academia, obviously.
Black
Clover. I didn't watch Black Clover.
Yeah, see, I didn't watch it.
They had a tournament arc?
Probably.
Okay.
Fairy Tail?
They had a tournament arc.
It wasn't good.
Yeah.
I don't like Fairy Tail. I watched Fairy Tail I watched Fairy Tail for like a decent while.
Yeah, same.
But then I got bored around the time before the time skip card. Everyone's like, "That's when it gets good." I'm like, it was 100 episodes in. It wasn't good before. It took you 100. See, like with Gintama, I'm like, okay, for 30 episodes, it's kind of, but then it gets better.
But Gintama is a comedy.
It's a comedy. Took okay. See,
wait. Let me go back to the whole Demon Slayer, My Hero Academia thing. My Hero Academia, I don't want to say it has hype moments because there were a lot of starts like the Stain episode. Everyone got hyped for that. When Deku finally learned how to like control his powers, people got hyped for that, right? Because it was like
but we need to get to the haters, man.
The haters, yeah. What I'm saying is, My Hero Academia. It's not that it has hype moments. Every show needs hype moments, but it's decently rendered.
I think the haters sometimes not even come from. I think popularity, you think, is another thing. I think it's just the fan base itself, right?
Yeah.
Like, no one hates the game Undertale. They hate the fan base.
Yeah, but there's people like, oh, you just all played Undertale? It's like, so what? Nigga, I play Sims.
I play Civilization.
Yeah.
There's plenty of bad games I played. Okay, since it's not a bad game. I play plenty of bad shit games. It's fine, man.
Yeah.
I
And I
play
play Call of
I
Duty.
play Japanese role playing games.
Yeah.
I can't. I'm not gonna get on a pedestal and say like I
I've
am.
never heard anyone say Japanese role play game. You can just say JRPG.
I say the full title just to emphasize.
Yeah. No, like for I said before,
It's like cock and ball torture.
I used to always play Call of Duty, and I all of a sudden Call of Duty started getting hate, and I'm like, why is Call of Duty getting hate?
I was
And
on
people
the.
were like, oh, it's the same game.
I was on the hate train because I was a Halo fan.
No, like I like Halo too. My whole thing is like, oh, people who are hating Call of Duty were like, oh, it's just full of 10-year-olds and this and that. And
Are you kidding me? That's the best part.
And I was like, well, to be honest, like if you play Call of Duty, most of the people you talk
Not. Okay, that the 10-year-olds meme is gone. These fuckers don't know what the fuck a voice chat is.
Yeah, no, but it's not only that. But people were like, oh, why are you buying it?
No one's calling me the N word over like voice chat anymore.
It's a shitty game and all this stuff. It's unbalanced. I'm like, no, like. Honestly, Call of Duty probably gets more balance updates than most games out there.
More than fucking League.
League gets a lot of balance updates.
That's debatable.
No, they get a fucking new. You have to learn the fucking meta like every week because they literally change a champion. They change like 8 champions minimum like every single week. They literally just did a big thing where like all these champions. You can now use them in the jungle. I was like, oh, okay. This champion, we buffed him last patch, nerfing him again. That's literally League. Like, if you miss like 2 months of League, you're like, okay, what's the meta now? Now, League, I'm gonna give them props. They update that.
Okay, fine. I'll leave League alone. Blizzard's
something else. Yeah.
Blizzard's a fucking finicky about shit. They just nerf everything so it's boring.
Yeah.
Right. Overwatch. Actually, I think for me, what I hate more than anything is
we're talking about bandwagon hate.
Bandwagon.
Right? And that's why I was bringing up Call of Duty because I used to get a lot of hate for liking Call of Duty, and it's like, I mean, if you don't like it,
dude, I got hate. I got hate for being a Nintendo fan.
Yeah, but
especially in like high school and such.
But what I was saying with Call of Duty is like my whole saying is like, look, if you don't like it, then don't play it, but you don't need to insult me.
I knew one guy. He was a PlayStation fan, like a hard PlayStation fan, right? Like I was in the Xbox side, but I was also Nintendo. So it's like, the Wii is so graphically inferior, and I'm like, but it has fun games.
Yeah, no, people
like it doesn't. My fucking PS3 doesn't my Wii doesn't explode on me.
No, that's the same. People, there's a time when people focus so heavily on like graphics.
Dude, the PlayStation crowd for 2 generations never shut up about this.
Let me finish. But yeah, there's a time when people kept bringing up like the graphics, right? And I think people kind of forget that there's nothing wrong with taking some time to play like the old games and realize like, holy shit, these games didn't have the best graphics, but they were still fun.
No, these
just because someone out there has some like even the PC community like, oh, why would you want to play on console when PC is so much better? It's like because more people play on console for some of these games.
I just like
play where the player base is at.
I just like controllers, right? Like, I mean, I don't know.
Well,
like,
to be fair, you can use the controller.
Now you could, but I'm just saying, like, before.
Even back then, yeah.
I swear, those guys would always dick suck about, like, they would never talk about controller functionality. They would talk about the accuracy of mouse and keyboard. I'm like, yeah, I know it's accurate, but I just don't care.
Even back then, you could just, since the PlayStation 3, you could always just hook it up.
I never got why people would never, like, there was always that one guy who always had to attack your side. Yeah. Even when you would say your side was never superior, like I know what I came for. I know what I bought.
No. Here's one thing I heard: an argument for the PC side, and I thought it was really, really stupid. People will say, "Why do you like playing on PS3 and Xbox?" And people would be like, "The exclusives." And then PC people would be like, "Oh, are you fucking stupid? PC is the most exclusives." And it's like, yeah, that's true. But they're not the same exclusives.
They're not the same exclusives. And my question is, how do you say they're exclusives I might like?
No, like, here's an example. When I was playing, my 2 favorite games were, like I said, my 2 favorite game franchises, Persona, Disgaea.
You're not getting those on PC.
No, you can't now.
Not now, but
now you can get Disgaea on PC. But, like, 3 years ago, they just came out with Disgaea 1 on PC. The game that came out in 2001.
Yeah.
Right? It took them 17 years to port that game to PC, right? And that game got ported to the DS,
Yeah.
right?
No, I mean another thing I also want to add is they don't port. A lot of PC ports are really bad.
Yeah, this guy is hard to fuck up though. This guy would be hard to
Japanese developers always find a way to fuck up ports.
they would fuck that up. But what I'm saying is like I can guarantee you there will never be a time unless I want to emulate it. There's never going to be a Persona game on fucking Steam.
No.
There's never going to be. You're not going to be able to play Persona 4, Persona 5 on Steam.
No.
Right? If Persona 6 comes out, that's not touching any fucking PC. It's going to be PlayStation exclusive, right?
Of course.
Right? And that's the thing.
I don't know. I don't think I even want to participate in the newest console generation, to be honest.
Yeah. Another example, Mario. If you're a huge Mario fan, why the fuck are you going to buy anything else?
Why would you mean Mario teaches you typing, man?
I can teach you.
That's only for DOSBox. We don't have DOSes
Is that
no
actually
more.
a real thing?
Yeah, it is. I have it.
Oh, shit.
It's legit.
Yeah, but no, that's what I mean. Like, you're not going to get a Mario game on the PC.
You ain't.
Yeah, you're not getting it. You're not going to get Breath of the Wild. Breath of the Wild, phenomenal game.
Oh, I can run it on my computer. Like, why the fuck are you gonna go through all this legwork?
And that was like kind of my argument. Like, those PC people are like, so PlayStation Xbox, Nintendo has exclusive, but PC has like 10 times the amount of exclusive all of them combined.
And now that my Switch,
they're not the same.
And the other thing is like, I like portable consoles a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, problem for me is like, I can just grab them and go. Like, I know this sounds fucking retarded to a PC player, but like, the act of getting to my fucking computer and booting it up and doing all that other shit, well, I can just pop up my DS, start playing, or my Switch.
My PC is pretty fast, man.
No, maybe it's just because you don't got a nice PC. Yeah, I guess I don't have a nice PC. Maybe it's because I'm poor, huh? Maybe it's, are you going to really hold a man back because he's poor? Are you being that elitist?
No, I'm not.
I'm just talking about like all these other guys, right?
Yeah.
Like you got to look at all.
No, people need to understand.
People have different
PC is like at minimum like $2,000.
People don't have the time or money for these things. They have other things. Sometimes people just want a quick game and go session.
No, like think about it. If you didn't have the money and your son wanted to be like, he wanted to play some like super intense PC game, right? You know, you're gonna pay $200 for a keyboard, $100 for a mouse, another like $1,200 for the computer, and then you have to pay another like $200 for the monitor. You're fucking broke after.
See, the problem is like a lot of these PC guys are like out of touch in reality.
Yeah, and realistically, it's cheaper to just get your son like a PlayStation Slim for like
just
$300.
Get him a Switch. Give him Mario. They'll be fine for like a month or several months, right?
Yeah, and I think that's what people say. Like, yeah, you have to pay a big price to have all that exclusive.
And then like, oh yeah, you have access. Then I got to wait for Steam sales like a motherfucker.
Yeah. Like here's the thing.
Okay, I'll say one thing. Steam sales do come often.
Yeah, they come often. Yeah.
But like, that's the thing, right? I don't know why they always can't like. The problem is like this is why reason why like I used to be part of those console wars. I was part of the last great console war.
The last great? Which one was
the
that?
PS3, Xbox, and the Nintendo war.
Oh, that's true.
That was
Xbox won.
The Xbox did win, but then ironically,
PS3 never came back.
PS3 never came back. Although ironically, the PS4 did take over for the next gen, but like,
yeah, no, it did.
But then Sony's fucking division died in Asia.
One thing I will say is, I knew it was a wrap when the PS Vita was more technology advanced than the PS3. That's what I knew coming back for the PS3. When they added party chat to the PS Vita and it had a better looking interface, I knew that the PS3 was done.
I love the Vita. Vita's so nice.
Yeah.
I wish.
Even though everyone hates on the Vita.
Well, what's bad about the Vita? They hate on the Vita. Who hates on the Vita? People joke about the Vita, but
people
no one.
Are like, it was too expensive.
Too expensive.
And you had to buy like the memory cards because the memory cards were true $20 for 4 gigabytes. You're paying like double the price for the memory.
Nigga, I can get a SanDisk and put it in my Switch.
You couldn't do that with the PS Vita.
I know, that's what I'm saying. Like I don't know. I don't know why Sony always had to have these weird fucking dumb retarded peripherals, and this is coming from a Nintendo kid.
Yeah, and then they got rid of that. And that's everyone literally said that killed the Vita.
I don't know. I think the Vita is a good system.
It was good. It is insane.
My only problem is like I do think the memory is a major issue.
Yeah.
And mind you, I bought mine used. So
no, that's what I'm saying. I knew it was a wrap for the PlayStation 3 Xbox 360 war. The moment the Vita was more technologically advanced, then there's a problem.
It happens.
When they started porting all the PlayStation games, the PS3 games to the Vita, You're like, nah, this is. They fucking got Uncharted on the Vita. That's what you need to
Yo, when I saw that, I was shocked. I was like,
that was their front runner. That was their flagship game.
was it a good game?
Yeah, it was a flagship game. The flagship game was some racing game, Uncharted, and Marvel vs. Capcom 3. Those were their front runners. And you're like, what
Marvel again?
Yeah.
Marvel?
It was Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3 was the front runner for the Vita.
I just imagine just a bunch of guys in a cage smashing their, like, shaking the bars, just going like...
Yeah, and someone looked at the technology in the Vita and said, it's really not that far off from the PS3. And they had party chat.
Okay, that's it.
That's when you knew that
we're done. We're done this episode. We're done for life. I'm done. All right, that's it for today. We might finish up on haters the next time, but like today is a suitably meaty episode.
Pretty meaty. We talked about transsexuals, money by happiness,
and haters.
And haters.
Haters, stay down.
Haters don't rise up.
Haters, stay away. All right. So we had our esteemed host,
Dante from Toronto,
and of course the Terror from Brampton.
The Terror from Brampton.
There was a shooting on my fucking bus, bro.
Really?
Yeah.
On your bus?
They discharged a gun in the bus.
On the bus you were on?
No, not my bus, but my bus route.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, it was fucked.
Did anyone get hurt?
Yeah, a guy got injured. We haven't got anything else. No motive, and the guy dipped up. They had locked down 2 blocks.
What the fuck?
Yeah, so I might edit this out. Who cares? All right, toodaloo.